Hi, everybody. It's me, Dustin. And
Me, Ethan.
in this series, we're starting another series. If you watched our video before and our podcast, listened to our podcast, we did like series about our business side agency that we are starting right now. And also, we want to go through since we're in Tokyo, Japan, we want to go through businesses in Japan. And yeah, Ethan, like, what do we name it? Like, what is it about? Can we just like give an
So,
overview about this series?
yeah, so like an overview of it is kind of like a just case study analyzing certain businesses that have been successful on social media and because of social media. So, it's we're kind of focusing on that type of business that like you only know about it because of social media. It's not something that they run ads or anything. It's just
Yeah,
it blew up on everything and you know about it. So, I don't know a name for this yet.
yeah. So Japan case studies, whatever it is, and I think it's a good start to go through, focus on the businesses that utilize social media, especially something which is like a UGC, free content and kind of viral content. And in our first series, we talk about what's the name of this place?
So, we're going to talk about Anakuma Cafe.
You probably have seen those, videos probably in shorts, on Reels, on TikTok. So this genius marketing, Japanese cafe that's making millions of dollars, coffee shop, and yeah, can we start from the concept? So the concept is about bears.
Yeah,
Pretty interesting.
bare hands.
Yeah, and you can find it in Tokyo, also in Fukuoka. So
Yeah.
the concept is instead of just going to regular coffee shop like Starbucks, any other coffee shop in your town, in this special cafe, coffee shop, bear, like basically a bear paw, serves you a coffee, which is really unique. So you interact with the bear, doesn't speak with you. It sometimes write notes, isn't it?
Yeah.
If he wants to
It
do
might write a
something.
message or something.
Yeah, a message, or maybe you don't know how to order certain things. He helps out with that. And also, there are various games and presents that Bears gives you. Also, you can even send mails to the bear. Write a message and send to a bear. And they have, I think, multiple bears, right? Like with white paw, like
Yeah.
white bear,
There's
polar
like
bears.
7 of them.
Yeah, there are different characters. They have different characters as well. And also, like more on the business side, the prices are pretty high, I would say, for a coffee, but the positioning is
Oh,
also
yeah.
very good. Like, so average check, I think, for the coffee would be around 1,200, 1,500 yen. And but the interactions are very, like, yeah, it's very entertaining, and they're more on that entertaining segment for the tourists, for people who kind of get used to like going to the bear, interacting with it, sending mails and stuff like that. And yeah, the basically the hype was around through the social media, and people were posting about this, and it went super viral on social media. So basically, it's UGC, so users generated content. So yeah, it's not exactly their marketing scheme to post content. So people
Mm.
are posting about this place, and also like business side, new locations keep opening. So now they have a location in Tokyo, another one in Fukuoka. Most likely gonna open up in other major cities as well in Japan, like
Yeah.
Osaka, I'm not sure, Hokkaido. So, and also in the similar countries, like similar coffee shops opening in other countries, like Malaysia, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, Malaysia.
In Malaysia, they're opening, so they're calling it more like positioning it more like for introverts, so people who don't want to interact, who have like maybe social anxiety, or a bit shy to talk to people. They just go there and hand basically serves them a coffee, so they don't even need to speak or order anything. Yeah, and anything like other than that, Ethan, from your side?
Yeah, I mean, we can put up some clips up here of my video so you can see it, but
Oh yeah.
it's really, they have like a gacha game too. They got a couple different things, so they kind of make it an experience. I mean, they better. It's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
It's like twice the price of Starbucks or more, twice
Wow.
or more for one coffee. Even a black coffee is already more than double than Starbucks.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's kind of like a way you don't order by talking to anybody. You write down your order or use a tablet, depending on the location, I think. But it's very, you just don't have to see another person to go there. So I think they're definitely catering for like what you said, for introverts.
Another thing, they have a lot listed on their official website, Anakuma Cafe. So they have the whole story about bears, and there's also a secret message there, which, like, Ethan, you want to talk about that, like the messages, the meanings that they putting out to people. So let's say you want to know more story about that bear, or like a backstory of this place. So there are a lot of meanings over there, right?
So like they kind of have like a little story for each of the bears about kind of deforestation. So like in the entire cafe has a story that's basically a bear lived in a forest and noticed that there were changes in the forest and it was caused by humans. There were less life and less trees, so the bear went to the city and discovered what cafes were and thought, oh, maybe I can make a cafe to make a difference and change the environment. It's kind of just a cute little story about bear making the world better with cafes. But so they're kind of pretty, they have seem to have a lot of focus on deforestation funding to kind of prevent it.
So there's a
They
lot of
send some of their
social,
profits.
yeah, there's a social story as well there, right? So they're
Yeah.
there.
So it's not very advertised, I'd say. You have to find it on their website, but they seem to be very like social oriented. That might be part of the reason why the prices are so expensive too.
Yeah. They're not listed exactly, but I guess they put out also funds to social needs, yeah, like deforestation and other
Yeah.
environmental issues. But like
And
it's put
it
it the way,
seems,
like it's so
oh,
cute, right?
yeah. They literally have like some photos. They kind of look like AI generated the photos, to be honest. But if you look at the photos, it looks like AI made them. But they definitely kind of made a cute story to go with the bear that was feeling the world was changing and it was humans' fault, but he didn't want to fight the humans, so he made a cafe to help save the forest by having humans have fun in the cafe to help like the richness of and like make the forest great again.
Yeah. So there is a lot of storytelling behind that project, as well as like another, right? Like, of course, this is just a story, right? And
Yeah.
but still, they put out another point about social. I wouldn't say it's issue, but in Japan, um, of course, there are anywhere in the world might be discriminations regarding persons mental health, mental well-being.
Mm.
So when hiring someone, they look out at the background of the person, as well as just for the person itself. Some certain work might be very stressful or might be like trigger certain issues in them. So basically this Anakuma Cafe hires people who have mental issues. Like how to describe that?
Uh, so no, actually, so what I found doing some research, that's a misconception. The Anakuma Cafe doesn't say anything about who they hire.
Oh, I see.
I So that's a different cafe that started in Osaka called Kuma no Te.
Basically, it means hand of the bear.
Yeah.
Kumanote. So
It's
it's
kind of
different project.
similar concept.
Yeah.
Different, completely unrelated, but kind of same idea. And that project is about the mental health and mental support. So they hire people who have kind of emotional disorders and kind of helps them reintegrate into society. Maybe they were like in Japanese, there's this hikikomori
Yeah.
or like social shut-in. They like stay inside so long they can't interact with humans anymore. So this helps people like that.
I see. So Anakuma doesn't state who they hire, and it's not that
No.
project. I see. Probably it also came from the videos, like short form videos that I saw.
Yeah.
Like they stated about that. So I guess it looks like it's different project.
No, yeah, for sure. Like when I was doing the research, or I made a video. You know this. I made a video about this cafe, and at the time I also thought that was the case. But now that I've done like heavy research, it's completely separate cafe, and so the Anakuma Cafe, their main thing is environmental protection and fair trade coffee. So they try to get ethically sourced coffee that is environmentally safe and kind of supports workers and farmers. It's not coffee that's made by like Nestle that harms the environment and harms the local people. So that's kind of the Anakuma Cafe's mission, it seems.
So it's different than focusing on people like workforce. It's a bit different concept, I would say, right?
Yeah, I couldn't find anything talking about mental issues with the Anakuma Cafe, and I read some Japanese articles too.
This seems very interesting. Yeah, like as I just before, as I shared about like other, you know, people and like businesses copying. I wouldn't say it's just copy. You know, they're just using this concept. So instead of bear's hand, it's just the person from the wall, like a hand of from the wall.
Yeah.
You cannot really see person's face. So it's kind of a coffee shop for introverts. Looks like Kumano Te started first, and then it went for more like Anakuma Cafe, and it's going more for that, right? Yeah, it seems very, very interesting about the backstory of this place because people like, you know, I see the hype, right? Let's talk about that side, like the marketing side. Yeah, people go crazy about this place. Like, oh, I was also filming a content about that place as like discussing about the business side of the of this coffee shop. You know, there are tons of probably like thousands of coffee shops, right? Of course, you can say like, oh, I'm gonna do the best quality coffee. But nowadays, you cannot really, especially on social media, you cannot really surprise anyone if you're just gonna do, you know, good quality coffee. It's not gonna really surprise anyone. Or even if you're gonna say like, we're gonna use, you know, fair trade, we're gonna use the sourced, like fairly sourced coffee. Like it's hard to sell, you know. So it's not something like catchy. So that's why like Anakuma Cafe using visually pleasing, the whole theme, the whole storytelling, you know, like it's just eye-catching when you just see something with that, especially like, you know, scroll stopping content. It already tells you the idea even before you go there. You already have that idea of the place, and when you start going there, so if you live in Japan, for example, I saw some people like kind of, you know, interacting, talking to the bear, you know, saying like, oh, like I missed you, and then The bear wrote the notes like, "Oh, how are you doing today?" Stuff like this. So it's very fascinating how people get close to to the character and start to interact with that.
Yeah.
And as well as just talking about the social media side, as we said, the official page doesn't really have that much content going on, right? It's more like a campaigns, promotional content, photos.
Yeah.
Right?
It's kind of just a normal brand that's not like going crazy on social media. They just kind of promote their new products and
Yeah.
that's it.
I'm not sure though if they understand or they're just really strategic about this, because seems like they're getting like they share people's like content on their stories, comment on certain posts as well. Not sure about TikTok, but they commented on my clients and mentors Instagram reel. So they message the content,
Oh.
thank you for coming, things like this, but I haven't seen it on other platforms yet. And I didn't really
Yeah.
look into their like TikTok or YouTube. Most likely, probably they're right now really active, mostly active on the Instagram. But their content is basically everywhere. People writing blog posts about this, and seems like it just gets a lot of attention when you put out about this place. And just again, like with UGC content, with influencers making content about the cafe, it's basically a free promotion for them. And also like it makes them, basically make open new places like in Fukuoka and make new themes.
Yeah.
Can you talk about like I've never been, I've only been in the Tokyo coffee shop, but like can you share a bit about, so you've been in both, right? Both in Fukuoka and both in Tokyo. Which are the differences or what's they're doing right now? Because Fukuoka recently opened up, right?
So yeah, the original Anakuma Cafe started last year, October. So it's kind of been like 1 year. Only been 1 year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then they opened up a branch in Fukuoka in April of 2023 this year. So not even like maybe a little bit more, or no, 6 months. That's 6 months. That's 6 months after they started, they opened up a second branch. So that's crazy. And the Fukuoka one is a lot cooler than the Tokyo one. It's smaller in size, but it's got a very cave texture on the walls, and it's really bright green, and there's kind of fake plants all over the ceiling and moss everywhere, and some shelves with some really like Alice in Wonderland like decorations. It does feel like you're going to a different world. So it's a really cool place. And the Fukuoka one, another difference is you can only order by paper. So you have to write down what you want on the paper. It's just kind of checking some boxes. And the Tokyo one has a tablet that you can order with. So there's kind of even technological differences. Maybe they wanted to keep it more simple, or they just didn't buy a tablet yet. I'm not sure. But the Fukuoka location is a lot smaller. So basically only like one group can fit inside of it at a time. And you can, so you can kind of sit outside. There's a bench outside that you can eat at. And it's in a really, really great location where I think the Tokyo one's a little bit inconvenient to get to.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the pretty popular place, Harajuku, but you need to go a bit down the street. There's also a Nescafe shop. I'm not sure if it's related or something with the coffee, but that street like really close to Yamashita Dori, and I would say it's a better choice for Tokyo because I'm sure it's gonna create so much attention, and it might be even dangerous, with tourists and for people who want to just go there, order, like kind of interact, make this thing for them. So I don't think they worry too much about foot traffic, more about like people going and finding out about that place. So they're still in a great location, so it's not like the people need to travel somewhere inconvenient. because really like the important places are really close actually, like Meiji Jingu, those areas like where tourists go. So I think they chose a good spot not to have too much foot traffic where people gonna be just annoying and taking just pictures instead of like going there and ordering. So I'm sure they focused more on the not only just generating attention but also getting people to order coffee and buy instead of just taking picture. So that's why I think it might be even better for the Tokyo. So for Fukuoka, like you said, they're also in a great location. Like how is their location?
Yeah, it's a really great location. It's kind of in the area that the young people like to go shop and go to cafes and even go drinking. Is kind of everything all together in this area. So people walking around in the afternoon shopping for clothes, they'll see this. People going to cafes in the area will see it. So it's pretty good location for Fukuoka, especially like for the young people.
I see. Yeah, and what was the like? Did you see a lot of people going there? How was the when you were making content about that place? Was there a lot of tourists or local people?
So I went earlier this year, probably when it was new. I think I went when it was new, since I probably went in May. So there was a lot of local people only, basically. I didn't see any tourists at the time, but I think tourists are going there now because just more tourists are going to Fukuoka.
Yeah.
I think there wasn't as many earlier this year, so now that there's a lot more tourists going to Fukuoka, they really go all around. And at that time though, there wasn't many tourists. But I made a video that went viral on TikTok, so maybe that helped get tourists to go there. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and the location in Fukuoka, just so much more going on there. It just looks like
pops.
a cave,
it
right?
really pops.
Yeah, the colors.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think like Anakuma Cafe especially doing a great job in terms of making a great story, providing a product. It's what in branding, right? As we know, with branding right now, coffee is a commodity, but companies like Starbucks, and now like Anakuma Cafe making it experience through something like a commodity. They're putting a story, a branding, a service, which they can sell much more, and people are actually willing to buy for the price, right? And now they're also expanding, so they're doing something really right. But also like we also want to share like what they can improve on, like what they can do maybe better, both like online and offline. What do you think, Ethan?
So I think because their branding is their strong point, because coffee is coffee, you can get coffee everywhere. It's such a big competition. Like there's so much competition in that market that they're a brand more than they are coffee at this point. But they're not like, sorry, they're not utilizing it. And so I think they can really improve their social media, because I check their TikTok and their Instagram, and it's kind of nothing special and not so many crazy. Like they have followers probably because it went viral on social media, but their content isn't like great. It's not. They could tell their story with their brand. They could like advertise their new products in a way that is entertaining, but most of their stuff is very like advertisement feeling. Yeah,
I think so too. Like both, I think the just relying on UGC is a bit risky. So instead of like it's just like something like a viral content or hype, it just comes and goes. But what can stay longer? And I think this is very important for for the brand to keep entertaining people, because there's always something new that's coming up. So that's why from the great and big brands, you can see they have something like special events going on, like Apple, right? Like every year we know that in September it's gonna be new iPhone, and when we are waiting for that, or like there's a new MacBook, the new chip, and they have different events for like the developers, for consumer brands, Mac, like things like that. So they don't have just like one line of product. They have different lines of products, right? So starting from like as well as like budget and premium as well. So of course it's yeah, I'm sure, like I'm not sure exactly with their prices, but they definitely making a huge buck from this business right now. But I think they could also focus more on the wider variety of people. So for example, for me, I went there once, and probably for you as well, right? Even if you can afford it, I think it's just like, oh, you go there once, it's just like a park or something, and you probably don't go there another time. Probably after 1 year you go there again, and just in some occasion, maybe you're gonna show that place to your friends who are visiting Japan, or your parents, make a video. That's pretty much it. So you don't really stick to that place. You know about that place, but it's not just Starbucks, right? You don't get really used to it or keep visiting it again and again. So I would say, of course, it's good to position yourself as a luxury, but even luxury brands, they offer different line of products for different category of people. I mean, not everyone can afford $1,500 iPhone 15 Pro Max, right? So they also have just a regular iPhone 15 or like SE. So it just goes to show that like there might be a different product lines for even the even if you position yourself as a high priced or like a bit of like a luxury brand. So I would say probably on offline, if they could offer more variety of price and products, or something that they can also upsell, they can even make more money. So instead of just selling coffee, they can maybe have special cookies. So kind of like goes around, like you said as well. The strongest point in Anakuma is their branding, so they can leverage more on their branding, do more sales, do something that like gonna remind you about that place, something that you can put it at home maybe. So that's how they can build a really big brand, and make even like more chains around the city, because they have such a great concept. But at the same time, I'm sure they might also have other risks, like other people are making as a similar product, but still they are really leveraging on their characters. This is their really strong point. And again, it goes through the social media. People follow not companies or brands, people follow other people. So that's why for example, Elon Musk has more followers on Twitter, like X, than Tesla's account, or like Tim Cook have more followers than Apple. So it just shows that characters are really strong. So I also faced this challenge, or just like this finding, the project that I used to work with, NFT. So instead of just focusing, this is the project, follow our like account on Twitter, X, Instagram, YouTube, but like our kind of corporate, like the brand account, like people didn't really follow. But in that project we had basically like a characters, like something like anime characters, right? And people followed them a lot. Like people were like kind of religiously like following them, and we were making like accounts from of those characters, like their messaging, like they're putting out content, basically like kind of making a character around that. So that's why I could imagine if Anakuma Cafe team would realize that if they can put out, like if they can make those kind of brand accounts of those like bears, maybe do some pictures with like even AI, like, oh, today I went to a picnic or something like this, like about this Anakuma bears, and have like each profile about them, let's say on Instagram, and put out content. I think that would be like the idea of, oh, instead of following just like a cafe, like you would follow like each character who works in that
Yeah.
cafe. So just an example of creating a characters, even when you just don't want to show like a CEO of any like spokesman person. So that's just the ideas that just come up on my mind. But I think, yeah, they could really utilize social media, since it's just proven that people enjoying the content about this place. But I think, maybe they can do more research about like how people interact with those bears. Maybe this is just shows them, it already gives them so much information to work with, so they can create based on the needs, based on the what the regular client wants, because they can create so much more regular clients for them, not just tourist attraction, but also like local people who live in Japan. That's I think they have, they're opening up new places, new locations, just shows that they're doing pretty good. But there's of course something like a trend, right? If you just rely on trend, you just cannot really predict the demand it's gonna be there, because it's really
Yeah.
important for especially like restaurant business, coffee shops, to like meet that demand, or not to do too much. So because it's just gonna create like they have too much stock, but they cannot sell out everything. So yeah, that's, but mostly like focusing on the social media, I think they would focus on like instead of focusing just on their account and then just on UGC, they could go for like creating those cute characters, and each character have different character and different story, just like how idols work in Japan. So people kind of vote
Oh
for them,
yeah.
like they have this like culture basically in Japan, where you like support your favorite idol, you like you help out, you share some content, even they can create so much more with those characters, especially bear. And the also good thing is, it's not exactly a person, it's a character, right? So anyone can be that character of the bear. So it's not just like an idol who can, it's like a human error, or like they can go out and have some issue problem. Like it's a bear, right? Like I think the marketers can write a story. They can make something out of this. Is there anything else you want to add
And
to their social media, or anything else, Ethan?
yeah, I think it's like they can tell their story too, like not just the characters, but they can use it to sell that they're trying to help the environment, because people like that. But they could use their characters to help the environment, right? That's another way they could build on their layers of things they've gotten. And so, I don't know, have one of their characters go in a forest and plant a tree and say, we planted this many trees because we made this many sales. Like, that's totally a great video, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but I think they definitely are like missing out on, like, they could sell merch too, and they could still continue doing their like sustainable goals that they've been wanting to meet, but they could sell merch with their brands. They could sell coffee mugs. Starbucks does that.
Yeah.
They have merch for everything. Like, coffee's not the only thing they sell, so I think it's something that they could really expand into pretty easily. They just like make license their brand to some company that makes a mug for them.
Yeah, that's right. But especially I was wondering, because so many people, so many creators making content about this place, like basically promoting for free, but people not really following their official account. So this is I think this is very important to know that even people go and check out your account, but they don't find anything valuable in your page, they're not gonna follow you. So this is very important to understand. Even you're gonna become viral, you're gonna have your viral content, but your account looks very promotional, advertising, salesy, people just not gonna follow it. So this is very important to know.
Don't like that.
Yeah, but imagine they are getting so much people right now, so much attention, and yeah, it's very upset like to miss out on that, because I'm sure now you can even like go to TikTok and go for like hashtag Anakuma Cafe or Bear Cafe or something like that. It's gonna be tons of content, probably gonna be near to 100 million or even more than that views. And
yeah, but I check out their Instagram. It's just boring.
Yeah, it's very just they're posting about marketing campaigns that they have.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it what they have. But I guess this is they still probably like for them it's also very important to control probably traffic. I'm not sure, but they have a great potential going to online as well. Since just create something like what Mr. Beast is doing, like connecting both online and offline, leveraging on his, creating the product lines for his target audience. But what Onakuma Cafe can do the same.
I feel they've definitely gotten less virality though.
Recently?
Yeah, it's just, I think it's, the videos are dying down. People are going there. The tourists are coming to Japan. Less people are going there because they already went there, or everybody interested already went, or the videos are old, so the content creators aren't really making videos anymore about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure of their goals. It might be just probably not really long-term project, or it might be long-term, who knows. But it just shows that anyone can who is thinking about starting let's say a coffee shop, a place, they should really focus on a good practices, what for example Anakuma Cafe is doing. So when you want to open your let's say burger shop or your even like coffee shop right now, it's not that easy to please your client. If you're just gonna say like, oh, I'm gonna do good coffee, good service, it's just not enough right now. But at the same time, also important to know about the content is the king right now. You should be remembered. You should be always on someone's mind. So when they think about a cool place to have a coffee, to chill with your friend, to interact with someone, like a not even real. So people go to say like something like an Anakuma Cafe. So yeah, like even if in your country, if you wanna, like you can even go and copy this idea, do like maybe coffee for introverts or coffee with some character or something like that, and start to create even content to make virality, and probably people also going there and making content about their place, and just build out on that. But what it shows is, it's just like the biggest lesson for me in this project is really focusing on making your client or customers experience. This is super important. Like just instead of just creating and giving out product, create that experience for your client. So similar as like, luxury brands, when you go to a Gucci or like let's say Louis Vuitton shop, store, they give you some special a service, like you go there, you sit, they give you coffee or tea, they create this whole experience. So I think anyone can learn from that and utilize it, and as well as it just shows like how UGC content is also very strong. And if you just show like the like offline to online, like just to show how like people just gonna start creating content if the place is visually attractive. and there's some story
Yeah.
there. And when people get like influencers start to get attention, or like micro influencers, bigger influencers also go there and make a content about that, so it just grows. And and then all this attention, if you can you capture it, and then you also hold it, like, so people see your account and they want to follow you. It just makes you like huge. Yeah, so it's also important how you after you get attention, you also need to somehow keep it. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's from my side. And what other businesses you think we need to focus later on? Probably we also people can leave comments. Is there anything interesting, or like yeah, for our next series about business cases?
Uh, yeah. What other businesses should we focus on? Like, obviously, any restaurant or cafe is going to be a very similar experience to this because there's just such high competition in the sphere of restaurants and cafes.
Yeah.
But you can see a lot of cases where, like, there's some in America. I don't remember the name, but he got really viral. Now he has his own like place, but he was like working at his parents' Subway and just had like a GoPro on his chest and just narrating stories while he's making a sandwich.
Ah,
But
yes.
he went viral. Like, anything like that is also, like, I think really great content too. It's so simple. A restaurant can just
Put a
put a
GoPro.
camera
Yeah.
there and just do your job, and then maybe narrate a story later. It's so simple. But we could focus on, like, maybe something that's more different, like a B2B type of business,
Yeah.
because
It's not very
that
well
on
known.
social media,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Typically, people don't think about manufacturers on social media or anything like that.
Yeah, but if you present it in that way that is entertaining, I'm sure it's gonna be, interesting to know, and for people as well to understand that anything that can be somehow interesting, or you can present it to people, can get a lot of attention. And it's actually even better to focus on high price products as well. So, high margin products. So when people say like, oh, I'm a creator, I want to do a product, I want to like sell something, they focus on like, oh, I should do a merch, or I should do a certain product, right? But instead, we can also find like high margin products as well. So like, for example, it can be like digital courses, digital, downloadables, or even something that you can partner with another company, because like there is a scale, right? So basically, no matter how many sales you do, you can meet those sales with the demand, as well as when we say like, when some people say as well, I have a high priced and my target is like older people, like, like 30 plus, and my, like, prices are like the products, like what they sell is more than sometimes even $10,000. But I tell to them like, they tell me the TikTok, is for kids, like Instagram, like no one gonna watch about my product, but because we want to focus on exactly these people. But I tell them, it's just like how you catch a fish. You try to catch, let's say, tuna. So to catch it, like when you go and catch something, it's, you don't know what you're gonna catch, right? If you're just gonna target on something and trying to catch certain things, instead you pull a big net, and you catch different fish as well. It can be tuna, it can be even lobster or something, but you catch that, and from that big pool, from that big net, you get the tuna basically. So that's how,
Yeah.
like, you should even do it. If you have a luxury or expensive product, you should try to be actually very broad in terms of your target. And from those people, you're gonna get the people who are interested. They message you, they leave a form, anything. you get your potential clients, because that's basically how it works on social media. So since with Anakuma Cafe as well, right? So some people even messaged like the video that we posted, they wanted to buy a franchise of the place, you know. So imagine
Wow.
like Anakuma Cafe wants to sell the franchise, and they're gonna be like focusing on, oh, we need to find a franchise and make content about franchise. They can do that, but whether those people gonna watch or not, like it's and other people who are not interested about franchise, they're not gonna watch that content. So it's not shareable, it's not viral, it's not gonna get viral at all. But when you focus to more like broad audience, you're gonna find the people who actually also wants to purchase of like the pie, or like they want to purchase of maybe they want to buy out the company, who knows, or the concept, the rights for that like franchise. So that's why what I wanted to share is especially if you have a very like expensive or very like something like a targeted product, you need to get a lot of people's attention, and from them you can kind of funnel it to your product. And also what's great about this, you can also introduce I was sharing today is like different product lines. Maybe someone wants like a downloadable of how to open cafe like Anakuma, for example, right? You can sell to $10, but also you can sell a franchise to $50,000, $100,000. So it can be very different
Oh,
products
yeah.
inside of that as well. So it's actually better to be famous, right, than just like rely on certain things, like, oh, some sales people should call different franchises and try to sell it. No, you already have that asset as your social media, and your social media can sell and show that like your value through like, and they actually shows better that because like the places like Anakuma Cafe invest to their branding online, it just gives more like eyeballs to the business itself, and how other people can
And
also
it's like
scale it.
adds a, what is it, a certain sort of credibility to the business, that even if people didn't think about it, even if it's something as simple as cement, they might think of this cement company if they like their social media.
Yeah, of course, right? You can be one of those companies who talks about cements, or like when someone thinks about private jets, you are selling private jets and you're active on social media. You can be one of them who comes to your mind. So you should be like,
Yeah.
when you think of riding shoes, like suddenly like Nike comes to my mind, because they keep pushing this idea, they keep pushing this, like they are number one in that. So you can be one of them in your industry, in your area as well. So why not to do that? It's one of the biggest asset right now, to be a creator, to create like the something that can convert, and something that shows right away what you do and what are you about, right? So yeah, just we went to like we want to show more companies like this, so who are doing certain practices, especially in Japan as well. And you might even try, if you're thinking of like starting a business, you're thinking about business ideas, here it is, like, or how you implement best practices for your business that you already have, and you might have struggle with marketing or branding, sales. So here we're gonna share about those best practices with you. So yeah, share with someone who might find it interesting, who have a business, who are interested in entrepreneurship. Follow our social media accounts as well. We're gonna share
Yeah.
a lot more, valuable content for you guys. It's not just business cases, but also we're gonna do interviews of mindful people who are in entrepreneurship, business, also bringing a lot to the society, changing our world right now. And anything else, Ethan? So we might wrap
Yeah.
out for
So we
today.
just want to kind of keep doing this content. We'll do some case studies sometimes. Maybe we'll discuss our own personal news of our own growth too.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we've reached a milestone for ourselves, and we definitely will find some interesting guests who are kind of business oriented in Japan, who like whether they be startups or CEOs, we'll see who we can get on.
For sure.
But I know some startups, maybe we can get them on. But yeah, for sure. We will definitely keep coming out with this great content. And if you have any ideas for any case studies that like any businesses that you want us to kind of analyze and break down their social media and maybe potential opportunities they can do with social media, leave it that in the comments and let us know.
Yeah, it should be very interesting for us as well to go through. Even if you have your business or your social media, we
Yeah.
can even go through it and do a live content about that as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for
All
everyone
right.
for
Well,
listening.
thanks
Then
for watching.
yeah, bye bye.